So in the days leading to the elections, they made it clear that when they come, unnecessary expenditure will not be encouraged in government. And you and I know that opposition parties don't win elections. It's the blunder caused by the government of the day that allows an opposition party to win. So as a movement that will very soon be a political party, we don't wish them bad, but if they decide not to do the very things that they promised, we only go back to the people of this country in 2028 and tell them that they said they would do A, B, C, D. They could not give it opportunity to come and better what they did. One of the promises had to do with this, that they would first of all reduce the size of government and then also scrap fuel allowances to appointees. And what? And DSCV, I don't consider it as a...
It's a promise.
It's a promise, but that was not a monumental promise. But yes, you promised and you did. So that one can also be taken into consideration. Senna, like Mr. Pratt was saying, sometimes you go to programs and you see government appointees and you wonder whether if the government was their property or their business. They will just come to the program and put their engines on whilst the program is live. I mean, we are living in the tropics. So whether you like it or not, at one point you go on the sun. So why must you have a chilled car at all costs at any given time? You are leading human beings. The sovereignty of this country, as captured in Article 1, is in the people. The very people, majority of them, cannot even afford 2 square meals. They sit in trucks without air conditions, plying on very terrible roads. I don't know whether recently you have used the Amasaman 2 in Sawam Road. The dusty nature of the road. If you see the sort of ordeal that Ghanaians go through, no wonder we die early. And we attribute it to witchcrafts and wizards and witches and so on and so forth. Environmental conditions are not the best. So all of us have to suffer. In fact, the government must always show the people that it cares. And this is one of the fine opportunities to exhibit that. So to that extent, I am very happy that the president has announced it. As a movement, our difficulty with it is that we have to come clean and clear as to the details. The number of appointees involved. Gov't also has to do as the greatest on us by telling us the tables that they have shut down, how they intend to deal with coupons that are already in the system. All these things, they must bring clarity. The amount of money we will save at the end of the day. Once government comes out clear and clean on it, then we can be policing, monitoring, because it's a shared responsibility. In this business of we going into an election and after that political parties only go and sit back, come in only to come and criticize. No, we want to bring something different into the system. We want to monitor alongside government so that when something is not going right, we'll point it out. If they fail to do it, we'll go back and tell the people of this country. So we would urge this administration to give us the pointers, the amounts that we are looking at, and how they intend to make sure that this directive from the president is, as it were, followed. You remember recently, just about 2 or 3 months, we were told that before you travel, you have to seek a clearance from the chief of staff. Since then, we haven't heard much, but I know that's how a lot of people go to the US. I don't know whether they have clearance. Some of these things, you have to start having press briefings on it for us. Now then, it takes us to, because this one is also not in isolation, it almost coincided with the, what do you call it, the 1 cedi levy. I think it was a smart move. Well, here was the case that you were going to tell the people of this country to pay an extra 1 cedi. So to also show that you care, let us sacrifice as a government. The policy had already come into place. There is a debt to be paid, $3.7 billion. And it surprises me when people who are aided in this debt rather are the ones that are complaining. Because whether we like it or not, there is a debt to be paid. So you are faced with a business decision. Do you allow the debt to still subsist, where independent power producers will at a point stop producing so that we don't get the very energy which is the heart of the economy, or you cause the people of this country to make some sacrifices so that you deal with it? And here again too, it is important that the leakages that led to these debts piled up are dealt with comprehensively. Senna, we are told that the electricity company of Ghana alone, I mean the energy sector debt is what, 60 to 70 billion, is that not the case? Electricity company of Ghana, in the supply chain, VRA and school meanings, they will produce, Draco will transmit, ECG, distribute, go for the money and pay these people. When it gets to ECG, then it turns another matter. Only last year, when you know in this country, when PricewaterhouseCoopers audited ECG and told us that contrary to their figures that have been banding around, or that they will collect 10 billion, they are rather collecting 15 billion. And while they collected 15 billion, they only declared 10 billion, and even with the 10 billion, they made available to the cash waterfall mechanism 6.5 billion. So between the 15 billion to the 10 billion, where did the 5 billion pass? 5 billion is missing. All you hear is that the former chief executive has resigned on personal reasons. The former board chair has resigned on personal reasons. So this country, people do anything anyhow, and they only resign, tell us personal reasons, and they go away. So we need to revisit that matter. We need to revisit that audit report and find out where the 5 billion plus the almost 4 billion, making 9 billion went to. Then we can begin to be serious. Because you see, if this administration does not reassure the people of this country that with the 1 seed that we are collecting, we believe that in the next 5 years we will clear the debt and that we will not pay it again, then it will become difficult in future to convince the Ghanaian to be paying some of these levies. You remember the toll recovery levy? So that we have been paying since. Has toll recovered?
I thought we stopped paying.
Who is going to stop paying in this country? This country is forever. Backwards never. But this time around, I believe that clarity must be brought to bear. That look, we are giving you 5 years to clear, and that within the 5 years, we are going to tighten all the loopholes so that people will not get away with cheap money. You had the board chair of Ghana ECG come to tell all of us that, oh, when he was the board chair, he knew it, that people were stealing containers. That is normal. Then he told us we shouldn't pretend that we don't know what goes on at ECG. Do I work with you at ECG? Was I with the board at ECG with you? You knew what was going on, but you didn't do anything about it. So clearly, the loopholes must be sealed. Else, it will be like we are still fetching water into a basket where it will never get full. Having said that, beyond the loopholes, there are also other things that the electricity company of Ghana must do. People are in this country, they are looking for meter. Senna, I am looking for meter which will enable me to come and buy power. It's more like a cocaine. In fact, it's more difficult to get meter than even to buy the power itself. That is why you need that massive restructuring of that institution. It is the reason why, from the point of view of the socialist and the point of view from a capitalist, I always tend to disagree with Mr. Pratt when it comes to privatizing some aspect of ECG. some aspects. You can't privatize the entire ECG, but I believe some aspects. Because we have given it to these, the government sector employees for all these years, and what we have right now is a debt of almost 70 billion. So that if they are unable to collect the revenues for the state, then there is no need to continue to put them there, so that they put us in a mess. In a situation where, just like I just said, the metering is becoming a problem, there has to be an institution that is efficient enough that you give them the KPIs to serve the public. Collection. The last time we had the American embassy, the ambassador was so bold to tell us that, oh look, we have been chasing the ECG for them to come and collect their bills. Nobody comes. So it tells you that even within the embassies, they are using our energies free. Nobody's going there. It means there has to be that attempt, and I believe that if the government wants to do it, has to do it fast. Because the more we delay, the more problems increase. You cannot be an industrialized country or a 24-hour economy when you have a deficient energy sector. And the last week or 2 weeks that the administration launched the 24-hour economy. What it means is that it puts pressure on them to deal with matters within the energy sector space. Else, that program will become a white elephant. Especially when you need power for 24 hours. And you know, having power also has a direct relationship with the availability of water. Because this Ghana Water Company also relies on energy to be able to, as it will give us clean drinking water. So we cannot toy with it. The communication aspect wasn't the best. I mean, it took a lot of people by surprise. I mean, at the time that I even heard that the Minister of Finance was going to present this amendment in Parliament, I heard it around 11 or 12 o'clock that day, that this was what was going on. I said, what is happening? There should have been some engagement. You see, the Ghanaian is not that against payment of tax. After all, everybody knows that we cannot develop this country without taxes. But when you explain matters to them, and when they know that you are putting their tax revenue to good use, then the people will be very happy to ask it to pay, because after all, the country is for them. But in a situation where we pay taxes and human beings who have been conceived for 9 months decide to go and dig a hole. Have you read the audit report from Deloitte and Touch? Oh, Sana is beautiful. Mr. Pratt, I agree with you that you must not be wasting your time to be visiting the church. Because people deliberately, in the name of God, decided to steal from us. They stole from us. When you read the audit report that they themselves commissioned, it was the National Cathedral Secretariat that commissioned Deloitte and Touch.
Board of Trustees.
My God. And I believe that this must be an opportunity for this administration, in the same way that President Akufo-Addo was able to haul the former President John Mahama to the office of the Special Prosecutor. This is a fine opportunity for Nana Akufo-Addo to be hauled to investigative bodies. How can we, as a country, a sovereign country, pay contractors without any agreement? Before we even sign any proper agreement, we had already advanced monies to them. Now, the beautiful thing is that whereas the state is saying that, oh, in the case of David Ajay, the state or the National Cathedral Secretariat were saying, the trustees were saying that we have made payment to the tune of 113 million. David Ajay was rather saying, oh, no, it's not 113 million. You have rather paid me 117 million. You forgot about some 4 million somewhere. Hey! You have a group who they call themselves Nehemiah group. Whereas they are saying that the government of Ghana owed them $155,000 only. The National Cathedral Secretariat, they will say, oh, no, you people, we don't know mathematics. We owe you $1.8 million. Can you imagine? They came to trick all of us that Momo contributions toward the National Cathedral was in the region of 40 million. They have mobilized about 40 million cedis. When the auditors went through, they said, oh, all the monies were not successful. The monies were reversed back to the telcos. So the only amount they had was about 360,000 cedis. When you do some of these things, what would encourage the taxpayer to be paying taxes? And it becomes so difficult to convince the Ghanaian who is supposed to be an owner of this economy to pay taxes. And that's what we use our money for. Look at what is happening at the National Petroleum Authority. That people have been sent to court. When are they going to appear in court? We are in this country when somebody came to tell us, Wallahi, Inshallah, we must rescue. Why are you not in this country? Now, according to a mandated office, an office created by the state, which is the office of the special prosecutor, I don't trust them anyway. But now what they are telling me is that from their investigations, it is their view that the former boss of the MPA, together with some companies and 7 individuals, made away with 280 million Ghana cedis. Where did they get the money from? According to the OSP's office, they took the money from the UPPF. So dangerous for this country, because if the Ghanaian people know what the UPPF does, this will be more than genocide. The UPPF is the only reason why Gov't could sell a liter of diesel in Accra at say 14 cedis, and someone in Boga will also be buying it at 14 cedis. So if you decide to deplete that fund, what it means is that at the point it cannot be supported, and people in Tumo, people in Boga will have to buy fuel higher price than those of us in Accra. Now we have been told by the office of the special prosecutor that individuals that we entrusted the mandate of this country into their hands decided to go there and through blackmail, through coercion, through intimidation, decided to take this money. How would this encourage the Ghanaian to pay your tax? So it makes the work of every government so difficult. And that is why this administration must come out and reassure the people of this country. Give us timelines. It's very important. Because if you give a child a load to carry and you tell the child that at this point I will offload you, and the child gets there and don't offload the child, it becomes another matter. They have to tell us. All over the places. Go to the National Scholarship Secretariat. What the people did there is a crime against humanity, not just a crime against humanity, but the unborn generation. You share scholarships as though you are sharing granules to girlfriends, fiancés. I don't know. People go and type fake admission letters, go and type. What sort of life is this? And you take money from them, bribes. To the extent that the country is owing every institution around the world, even Togo, institutions in Togo, we are owing them. We are owing them. So we did encourage you to be paying tax. Go to the NLA, another landmine. But if pastors and reverends and all those people are doing this, those that don't call themselves reverends and so on, I mean, you can even pardon them. What it means, therefore, is that we have to tackle the issue of corruption seriously in this country. Now the focus of politicians in our modern day governance is all about how to go and dissipate public resources. My tax and your tax. That has to be used to develop this country. So it's a welcoming news. I believe that once the city is stabilized, we may not be feeling the full impact of this policy. I hope and pray that, contrary to what the Bank of Ghana, you are saying that you don't want it to go lower again, you would reconsider your decision. If we are buying $8 cedis, it will be good for us, even if it's 2 cedis. In the same way we have suffered. Yes, government will suffer for a short period, but the majority of Ghanaians will enjoy. So we will encourage you to do that. And once the city is stabilized, then we will have that bidder, because on the international market, oil, prices are still reducing, which can help all of us. And so I hope our appointees and the Ghanaian people at large will take both sides in good faith. If you are an appointee that your coupons have been scrapped, note the title of your job or what you are doing. It's called public service. And just like Mr. Pratt was saying, we have never begged anybody to come and lead us. We have not begged anybody to be president. We have not begged anybody to be vice president. Neither have we begged anybody to be a minister or appointee. In fact, you people go and lobby. But before you went into government, were you not buying fuel? The same way, same. Come and serve us, so that at the end of the day, this nation will, as it will, remember you when you are no more. I'll end it here.
Thank you as always. If you just join us, we'll move quickly to our I think we have time to do one more topic before we leave, and we'll take it to Ablekuma North. A few comments from those of you who are joining us. This one says, Ghanaian want volunteers to serve the state. President Mahama should also cancel appointee salaries. We don't put trigger on their top to serve us. If you can't serve without money, go home.
That one will be an overkill. They have to enjoy their salaries.
There's this one from, is it Jojo JP Gabra Elmina, who says MPP and Akufo-Addo's presidency was simply callous. Thank you for the comment. Kofi Agbakpo from who says the question is, do we tax to keep our lights on or no tax to collapse the energy sector? MPP can put off their lights if the tax is used to buy fuel, period. This is exactly what their parents did to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Distractors instead of being alternatives. Shame. Then this is from Pastor George, who says John Mahama has done well for making that bold step to scrap the fuel allowance on his government appointees, and it should be backed by law. Now GM has brought hope to every Ghanaian. Indeed, he has shown leadership. Thank you very much for that comment. And then there's also Adum Samo from Cape Coast, who says, please tell Beatrice to talk to His Excellency John Mahama about the, I think there's this thing that people have been commenting on. I don't know. It keeps coming on anytime we're on the show for about 4 weeks now. They said about Igbo invasion in Ghana. This matter has been coming up consistently. Then there's also Gabriel who says to the Constitution Review Committee, quote, 1, no labor union should push for any increment in their items 1.5 years into an elections. 2, an attorney general refuses to prosecute offenders, including its party members, on cases reported to the police station, must themselves serve 5 years if found guilty. That's Gabriel's suggestions. Decided to send it to me rather than take it to the Constitution Review Committee. There's Docs from Tamale says, thank you for educating the people of Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana Thank you all for educating the people on Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana every Saturday. God bless you. Doc sent that from about contesting and winning any competitive national elections and allow our newly elected member of parliament for the people of Ablekuma North to bring rapid socio-economic development to them. Mr. Owusu.
Yes, let me extend my greetings to Alhaji Rahman Jamatutu. He's in the Upper West. He's watching us. Good morning, Alhaji. You see, violence. I'm very surprised that it's those that are in the MPP who are now complaining now. So surprised. Because ever since Nana Akufo-Addo took over the leadership of the party, they somehow turned the party into a violent party. Look, in 2023, you were in this country. Super Delegates Conference. I was in the MPP. We have sent someone to Wale Wale to be Allowance agent, Ali Zakaria. He was beginning to pop. And the party could not even issue a single statement to commiserate with him and his family. And it was one of the reasons why Mr. Chemantil left the MPP. It was one of them, because when we brought Ali Zakaria from the north to Agawa, Dr. Agawa's place, and we saw the extent of damage, I mean, nobody will tell you that there was no need to continue to be in the party. I don't like violence in politics. It's a contest of ideas. So I will always condemn any violent activity. I condemned it in the past, and this will not be the last time I will condemn it. What took place at Ablekuma North was a village life situation. That's 17th century behavior. That in this day and era that we are thinking about how to develop our country, all that you know is to go and fight adults. No, you are not serious. But it also has to be told that how Koomson has been misbehaving in this country. Why is it that we are dancing around the issue? Tariq, he is no more, he is dead. Go to Owusu East, whether or not they will give a good account on Hawa Koomson. And like B was saying, who goes to a polling center with a pepper spray? It means you would have gotten a certain information as to the threat levels to your life. But why wouldn't you report to the police as to what information you have gotten, but rather go there with pepper spray? I do not envy the women's wing of the MPP at all, because I understand she intends to be the women's organizer. And if she is going into polling stations with pepper spray to go and meet men, then you, the woman in the MPP who will be disagreeing with, she will spray all of you. It's not good enough. But I believe also that the police administration must be up and doing. How is it that they went into this election? I barely saw any police officer or personnel holding a gun. So fortunately, we have the video footages. They must go into it and arrest everyone. And not just that, the national security must be intelligence-led. As we speak, people are boldly going on TikTok and other social media handles, rather threatening. You arrest all of them. Rent a place for them at the various cells. They know about the laws of the land. In modern day fighting, you think it's about your macho. Someone is sitting in his house, sending drones to come and bomb you. You are in this country, go and put on macho attire, put on dark shade. You think you are tough. You are not tough. Go and develop the brain. It's not about the brain, it's about the brain power. That's where we have got into. But when they lack the ability, as it were, to let the people know the message that they have, what they resort to is a value. And once again, the administration must do well to disband what we call the Green Army and the Blue Army. Our constitution mandates only one army. How did you become blue? How did you become green?
There is no blue army.
The MPP has a blue army. You don't know?
When did they form it?
Moses Abo has been going around. I saw them myself.
Oh, I see.
You didn't see them, eh? Oh, you are missing in town. But when you see them, as though they are all lacking vitamin C, you say you are happy. So, Sana, let's condemn them. Let us encourage constructive criticism, dialogue in our body politics. Let us take. They are the reason why decent minds do not want to enter into politics. They have managed to seize the two political parties. And they control people. That is how it comes. You can have the likes of Wuntibi want to be the national chairman of the NPP. Now it's all about Buga Buga. That reminds me, there is also another guy called Buga in there. Everything must be radicalism, violence. It doesn't build a country.